for example, is it okay to go back in time and kill Hitler as a baby?
Yeah, this is
Like
an old one.
probably yes, but philosophically speaking, I don't know.
No. Yeah.
Is it not though? Wouldn't
I
you be
don't think.
morally obligated to do it?
I mean, it's just a big version of the trolley problem, basically.
Yeah.
Hmm.
And the moment you
Mm.
are active as not just watching, you're getting
Hmm.
active. You are basically the one that's, I don't know, to be held accountable.
Mm-hmm.
But it's also, if you don't do it, you also make a mistake.
A few days ago, I was actually thinking about the trolley problem. So this is creepy for me. First I had the deja vu, and now I'm
I remember what I
Full
was
on
gonna say.
Matrix mode.
I know, right? I'm seeing black cats everywhere. I petty cats.
True.
No, but I thought about this, and the typical thing is you're standing there, and if the train continues on its track, there's a person tied on the rail or whatever,
Mhm.
and there's a lever there, and you have the ability to pull the lever and make the train go on a different track. But on that track, there's three people laying tied or whatever on the rail.
Mm.
Um, and I thought what I would do is nothing.
Same.
You would do nothing.
Now,
You're a piece of shit.
no. Now, the thing is, then I started to think about this further. And this is where it got really real for me. Yeah, there it is. You're gonna put that monstrosity.
There you go.
There you
What do
go.
you mean monstrosity?
Oh, it's just the other way around. Okay, so if you let the train continue, it kills 1, 2, 3, 4, 5
Oh
people.
wait, no.
No, it's fine.
Yeah, it's fine.
It's
It's
good.
fine. If it was the other way around, then yeah, you'd be good to just stand there.
But if you pull
you
the
switch it so
lever-
it kills 4 people.
I mean, what? Okay,
Well,
okay, I see.
but if
This makes sense, yeah.
If you pull the lever, then it switches to another rail and it kills only one person, right? So the question is, if you had the power to pull that lever, would you pull it or not? If you don't pull it, I was about to make the mistake. If you don't pull it, 5 people die. If you pull it, 1 person dies. So my initial gut reaction to this was, I don't pull the lever because reality is what it is. Fate, whatever, is what it is. And if I take any proactive measures, then I am actually putting myself sort of in the position of God or something like that, and I'm determining the fate of these people for them. But then I thought, what if any one of those 5 people is someone I actually care about?
What if they're all people you care about?
Well, I'm starting with just one.
Who did you piss off, Emmanuel?
If just one of those people was, say, my wife or one of my kids, I'd pull the fucking lever. And I wouldn't
who the one of the one or
No,
of the 5?
if you don't pull the lever, the train just goes over those 5 people.
Yeah.
Right?
If one of them were people that you care about, then you pull.
I'd fucking pull the lever in a heartbeat. And then the question came to me, what if it wasn't one of my kids or my wife? What if it was my brother?
Mm.
What if it was my mother? What if it was a friend? What if? And I kept stretching it further and further out, asking myself, and I don't want to answer it here, asking myself at which point would I no longer pull the lever? And then I went a step further. And I asked myself, how many, does it matter at all? How many bodies would have, or how many people would have to be on the main rail for me to pull the lever?
Mm.
Did it matter if it was 100 to 1, if it was 1,000 to 1, if it was 1,000,000 to 1?
It
Would
doesn't.
Loris says it doesn't. He's a
Ooh.
mass murderer.
Ooh.
I think there's only, first of all, it's two questions. One question, are ethics quantifiable?
Mhm.
Is one life less worth than two?
Mhm.
If we say yes, then it doesn't matter. The numbers don't matter.
Mhm.
It's just two or more,
Yep.
and
Mhm.
it's
Yeah.
irrelevant at that point, I would say.
I would say that too, but that would be the purely almost sort of mathematical part of my brain saying that.
Yes, I mean, I personally would probably just freeze and do nothing. But
Would
so
you
so
really?
if well, look, you can think about it like this. Okay, so there's one guy. Okay, it's not exactly the same, but there is a guy who's standing there
a guy and a
over.
woman, and you have to choose.
It can be. It
not
can be.
sex.
We're not going there.
Oh, what if one of those five people was Hitler? Or what if the person? What
Oh
if the
my
one?
God.
What if the one person there on the secondary rail? What if that was Hitler?
That's a good point.
Okay, well then you switch the bloody
because-
thing, don't you? You're a hero at that point. No, what I was gonna say is
No, it's stupid. Don't.
Hitler just stands for like what
Bad
2
guy.
million Jews or something. So
he's a coupon.
it's Hitler's like a variable. It's not Hitler. It's all the
Exactly,
lives you save
exactly,
if
yeah.
you kill him.
Like if you just kill him but they still die, that's kind of like okay, cool.
All right.
No, okay, okay. Let's try and break it down. Okay, so if you had one person, like what you said earlier, can you quantify ethics? It's an important thing to think about here, but it's not the only thing, because if you had one person on either track, it would be irrelevant whether you pulled it or not, because one person's dying anyway. But it's not irrelevant. If you leave it, there's less of a investment there, right? Cost benefit. You're not costing anything. You're just standing there. As soon as you pull it, you have made yourself liable. That's the whole
Thing
debate,
is,
right?
If you don't pull the lever, that's still an action. You choose to not
Yep.
pull it.
Right. I think
Yep.
that's where this actual discussion is. How essential is that action of non-action? Is it as good as pulling the lever? Is deciding not to do something the equivalent to deciding to do something?
I think the problem is, like, the problem I see with this whole thing is what it's pointing to is the question of, do you know the future? This is kind of like, to me, this is ultimately the direction it goes into. Because if you do not pull the lever, you do not know for an absolute fact, 100%, you do not know if the train will even reach those people.
Yeah, but if it runs over the guy on 1, it's probably gonna have run over the guy on 5.
No, but like getting away from this in a way and kind of thinking about it in a like what it's actually pointing to is the notion of like Godhead. The notion of I know what's coming, therefore I can do something ahead of time to prevent the worst possible outcome.
But I don't think it's
thing is-
Godhead. I mean, the act of playing God, I don't think so. I mean, obviously this is a very, very, very extreme case, because that's what really makes you test what your principles are. If you're doing it because of like something that's generally meaningless, then you don't really get to test your principles, right? Because it doesn't really
Yeah,
matter.
but what good are principles if the vast majority of people, and I'm saying this honestly, this is what I think, the vast majority of people would pull that fucking lever. Like
I
if
don't
they,
think so.
I think so.
There needs to be a poll on this. I'd be interested to know what that
I
is.
think the vast majority don't want to interfere with that.
So you wouldn't pull it, just as this is. If you didn't know anyone there, the train's going past, you could pull.
You
the
know what?
thing.
In all honesty, if I was literally there
Yeah.
by the train track and I saw this happening,
Maybe they were even shouting
I'd
at you
probably
saying,
pull the lever.
pull the lever, and the guy on the fucking,
Yeah.
the one guy there is like, don't pull the fucking lever.
I would probably pull the lever.
What would you do, Lotus?
Yes, I would, if I have like the time to react, to make a conscious decision, I would pull the lever. Yes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Or even just sitting here, like, what do you think would be the right thing to do?
Well, that's a different thing, because
Yes,
that's
I
sitting here.
Yeah,
I
okay, well, we are sitting here. Like, who the hell
Right.
knows what you do in real life?
I think the right thing to do would probably be to pull the lever.
Mm-hmm.
It's just the
Mhm.
way I see it. I think for me, it's just a calculation. You
Mhm.
want to cause as little suffering as possible.
You want the outcome to be as positive as it can be, if possible.
Yes,
Okay,
kind of.
so let's change up this a little bit. It's a 1-to-5 ratio right now. Before you asked, are ethics quantifiable? So after 2 people on the straight track, then it should be a no-brainer. You pull the lever. What if there's 1 person on each track, but the person on the straight track is holding a dog?
What?
So you'd be running over a person and a dog if you do nothing, or you pull the lever and then you just run over a person.
Yes, then you pull the lever.
Why?
Because a dog is a sentient being.
All right, what if he's holding a hamster?
Come on.
It's still the same.
So technically it would still be the same, but at the end of the day, then you're sacrificing your liability, because now you're killed a person for a fucking hamster.
Yes, I did, but I
So this is
Also
why
saved
this
it.
doesn't work. This is why this doesn't work. There has to be something else
What if it's a
involved
rat?
here. Like, you have to take into account how you make
The thing
yourself
is-
liable.
All things being equal, I mean, in a purely mathematical head, yeah, you pull the lever. Like, all things being
Right,
equal.
and this is why maths suck.
But if it's like an old guy with the hamster,
Ooh. Or 2 old people versus 1 young person. You know,
Yeah,
this is
fuck
impossible.
old people.
Math that, bitches.
and a gorgeous woman on the other track,
1 hot girl versus 1 ugly one.
how, how many old people is one hot chick worth?
One is 2 very sexy people, and the other is 2 really ugly.
Ugly people.
Oh man, try explaining that to the fucking jury. Like, they were so hot.
No, that's what I mean about this kind of thing. To me, it's
an impossible
It's
question.
too literal, and to me, I'm trying to think about what it speaks to for me, like what it's trying to kind of portray in a very simplistic form. And to me, it's portraying the idea of stepping in. Like, would you, if you had the power, would you step in with your wisdom to to affect what you think is the best possible outcome?
Mhm.
And for example, the thing about pulling the lever is, well, you unless you have some, again, it's this godhead principle, or this idea, you don't know that train is going to, in fact, not, for example, a wheel isn't going to fall off and then the whole thing just
Mhm.
tips over. And what if you pulled that lever and killed
All of them.
It starts drifting and then just
Yeah.
and explodes. What if you pulled the lever thinking you were doing something good, and then, I don't know, you go in your time machine and you see that actually it was about to capsize and fall over, but because you pulled the lever,
Mm.
it balanced itself back out and continued and killed that person. And that's, yeah. Brain fart. I think these kind of things are fun to play with. Get your noggin jogging.
Mm-hmm.
But like I said, I think most people, like Laura said, if he was in a place in his consciousness where he was able to actually think rationally about the situation, he'd pull the lever. And I
Yes.
think that's what I meant by most, like the vast majority of people. Again, if they were not just terrified about the situation, if they were actually able to think about the situation, the vast majority of people would be, they wouldn't be like, ethically,
No,
they just pull it.
I think even if people were to come to the conclusion, I think most people would, that pulling the lever is the right thing to do. I don't want to say that most people would do the right thing, even if they were of clear mind and weren't panicking, because of that element of making yourself liable. Some people will do anything to make their life as cushy as possible. They'll run over an entire village.
Yeah, some people would just run away, right? Some people.
I
Just
think that might even be most people.
Again, those are two different things, I think. Like purely analyzing it rationally and in the moment.
In the
You
moment,
you have the fear to take the responsibility to basically kill someone to save 5 people.
Yeah.